Thank you. Well, I'm indeed honored by that warm reception. I trust by the time we're done tonight, the reception will be even warmer, and for the good way of being warmer, not normally how I'm received down here. I'm a little further south than I like to venture. I lived in Baltimore for a while in 1830 and had to leave there because I was arrested for all sorts of crimes and spent 2 months in jail. I'll talk about that a bit later. You know, I'm interested by your reception because I read in your local paper a little story about me today, heralding my arrival. I don't know what they intended to do by it, and I read it over, and I thought we should maybe talk about what they say in there a little bit. They did get it correct. Many newspaper people, of course, never get the story correct. As a newspaper editor myself, I always strive for scrupulous accuracy, but don't often see it in my fellow compatriots. But they got it right. I was born in 1805 in Newburyport, Massachusetts. My father did desert my younger brother and I and my mother when I was but 5 years old. He went off, and he was a merchantman, but basically after he deserted us, he was a drunkard. Never saw him again. We lived in poverty. That is correct about the article as well. We were so poor that for many periods I would wander around Boston or Newburyport going through the garbage piles that would be in the street to take food home to feed my brother and my mother. I gained very little education except from the Bible and from what I taught myself as I've learned to compose, type, and learn to produce a newspaper. That is my education. I am at best a mechanic, and that is accurate in the paper. The paper, though, also said that I was a fanatic, that I was a man who incites public riots, that I am a madman. Well, perhaps I am a fanatic. First with alcohol, then with other causes. I have been a fanatic to try to perfect the character of this nation. I believe man is eminently perfectible, but we must get rid of our sins, alcohol being one of them. But very quickly, my mind went to greater evils within our society. I attacked General Jackson. Well, he became president. How that occurred, I have no idea. But General Jackson's idea of moving the Indians from Georgia and North Carolina, the Cherokee tribes, and pressing them out of that area in 1835 by force under military guards, I found immoral and offensive to God, and I spoke out against it. I have spoken out against another crime in our society, that against women. The idea that women are somehow a second-class citizen, and because of this second-class status, they don't have the right to own their own property, they don't have the right to their own paycheck, they don't have the right to work in any job they might wish to, like any other American, and they do not have the right to vote. So I've spoken out on women's rights. And I've been a fanatic, I guess, as well, about abolition and the ending of the great scourge of our time, slavery. I've been fighting against slavery for 30 years now. Since my newspaper, The Liberator, came out in 1831, I have not let a day go by that I did not speak out on slavery. So I guess I'm a fanatic. Have I caused riots? Well, people say that my intemperate remarks, which you'll probably hear a few of tonight, my immoderate behavior, my militancy on these issues, on the evils of society, makes me cause riots. I caused one in Boston, almost ended my life. So maybe I am a disturber of the civil peace. Maybe I'm a madman as well. I have been called a madman because I am a traitor to my country and to my race. I have been called a traitor to my race because I published my good friend Frederick Douglass's Narrative of a Life of a Slave. I was the first to publish that, and many other of his writings. I'm a traitor because I am a supporter of Sojourner Truth, who I hear was here last night. Tomorrow night. Next night. She's coming. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow night is Mr. Lincoln. I'll have some words to share about Mr. Lincoln. But a madman, because I published Maria Stewart's memoirs, her memoirs of slavery and of being a free colored woman in Boston and building a school, the first school for colored people in that city. I'm a traitor to this country because I've published The Liberator, and I've incited servile insurrection for which I am under felony warrant in South Carolina and Georgia, because I am the one they believe incited Nat Turner. They say it's no coincidence that my paper came out in January of 1831, and Nat Turner in 1832 took an axe and slaughtered his master and the family and other families, incited an insurrection, the worst in American history. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the fanatic William Lloyd Garrison. I am the peace disturber William Lloyd Garrison. I am the madman William Lloyd Garrison. They have it right. What I am, though, really, is a common man in God's great cause. Now, calm yourselves.